Affirmations can be scary, overwhelming, uncomfortable, and frustrating at first. Why is that? So, picture your consciousness being like an iceberg, okay? And you can see about this much of it, right? But there's all this underneath the surface. This tip of the iceberg, that's what you are capable of observing within your consciousness. Everything underneath is inside of your subconscious, where it's affecting you every day, but you don't have direct access to that information the way we do with our conscious thoughts. When we say or listen to affirmations, our subconscious is getting disrupted because the messages are usually very much opposing to what our subconscious is used to. And so it sends these little messages up to this iceberg, to the very tip, right? Sends these messages up that says, this is bad. It disagrees with the information that we have already collected. And so in the consciousness, we experience uncomfortability, whether it's frustration or anger or sadness or just kind of like distance, apathy, just not being able to focus on it. For me, it was a lot of all of it. I would sometimes get so angry, I would just start screaming. I would sometimes be so sad, I would just go back to bed for the whole day after trying to listen to affirmations. There was a variety of reactions, but they were all clues about what was going on down here, even though I only could experience and consciously know this little piece of information. What affirmations do is they rewire our brains. If we let it, if we're really consistent with it, and if we kind of use some good affirmations, right? Affirmations say, I am. My mistake in the beginning was saying things of, I want to be. It was not the present tense, it was a future tense. It was, I want to get there. Or it was things that could be taken away from me. And so the goal is to have it all be present tense. And stuff that's either very generic or very non-superficial. And so it's not things that could be taken away from us. And so affirmations will rewire the subconscious, but during that process, the consciousness is going to be experiencing alarm. Our only job during this process of using affirmations and positively rewiring our subconscious neural pathways is to lovingly redirect the thoughts we experience. And so we don't want to ignore them. We don't want to escape or distance or avoid. And we don't want to berate them. We don't want to get angry at ourselves for feeling these things. We don't want to get angry at the thoughts for existing. We don't want to get upset at the situation. Rather, we want to seize the situation, seize this learning, growing, healing opportunity, and lovingly extend compassion to these thoughts and feelings we're experiencing. Whether it's body tension or anger and frustration or negative self-talk, we just want to approach that and say, I see you. I know you're there. I know you're fighting for me. You're only this angry and this upset because you care this much about me. And I appreciate that. Thank you, brain and body, for fighting for me, for fighting with me. But you don't have to be alarmed. This is a good thing. This is a positive movement we're making. And it's okay that it's scary. It's okay that it's uncomfortable. But we're not allowed to give in to that fear and uncomfortability. We're not allowed to let those feelings dictate our decisions. And by lovingly redirecting these thoughts, we reclaim our power. The thoughts don't have the power. Our feelings don't have the power. Our instinctive reactions don't have the power. Our negative self-talk doesn't have the power. We reclaim our power. We step into our power and take back our life, slowly but surely, bit by bit. Our subconscious has been trained by things beyond our control up to this point. But now moving forward, it is up to us to seize each moment, to heal and grow and transform and evolve and revive, to breathe life back into our spirits that have been suffering for so long. When I first started using affirmations, I would get upset thinking I was lying to myself. It took me a while to understand the truth of the situation. My consciousness is really big, really vast, really complex. What I'm able to be consciously aware of is like 1% of what's happening in the whole consciousness. I felt like I was dishonoring who I truly am by not paying attention to these thoughts and feelings. I would feel like I'm lying to myself when using affirmations. It felt very wrong to say these things I knew were not true for me. But what I realized is that if we pay attention just to that 1% of our consciousness, only to what we are able of consciously being aware of in any given moment, we are dishonoring the 99% of our being that's there still and has so much to offer. If I had paid attention to the 1% of consciousness that I was capable of being aware of in any given moment, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I would still be stuck wanting to give up altogether. We have to honor who we truly are by telling ourselves that everything we think and feel is only one small piece of a really big picture. And our goal is to be able to see more of the picture, because we're not a huge fan of that 1%, right? There's some depression, there's some anxiety, there's some frustration, there's heartache, there's all these things. And we're like, there's got to be more. There is. We're only experiencing this tiny percent of our actual beings, our actual souls, our actual consciousness, our true essence. When we have these thoughts that saying affirmations feels wrong and uncomfortable and scary, and we should not commit to it, and we should maybe avoid it, and we should maybe distract, and we should maybe minimize it, we lovingly say, I see you, thoughts, I feel you. I understand. But you're only thinking that because we've been thinking that for a long time, not because it's the whole truth. And I want to honor the whole truth. I want to honor my whole truth by listening to these affirmations, by saying these affirmations, by committing to this process of engaging with affirmations consistently. So it has the power to transform my subconscious. We can't access our subconscious directly, but we do have these tools to get us there, like meditation and affirmations. We can honor our souls by using these tools and starting to get to know more than just this 1% that we've been living with. And the great news about affirmations is it gets a little less scary and uncomfortable the longer we stick with it. It's like going to the gym and working out a muscle. It's going to be painful and uncomfortable at first. It's going to burn. You're going to be like, why am I even here? This is not worth it. I'd rather just be weak. But if we can push through, if we can be consistent for a little while, it's not going to hurt so much, and it's actually going to feel a little good. It's going to be like, wow, I feel strong. I feel capable. I feel a little more comfortable in my body, in who I am. Okay, all right, I'm going to go to the gym again. You know, it's like that. So using affirmations, taking these opportunities to access these things we can't normally access, honoring who we truly are by knowing that what we're experiencing now is only one small piece of the picture. This is how we reclaim our power, and this is how we transform and reclaim our whole life.